Funding for Schaefer-Ellis is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. Back in December, I made a video ranking every course in Mario Kart Wii, saying that I had plans to do this for every Mario Kart game this year, all leading up to a big ranking of all 96 courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe once the final DLC wave comes out next December. Do I regret this already? Not yet, but I can tell that I absolutely will by the time we get to that last video. Anyway, Mario Kart Double Dash. If Nintendo's gonna take their sweet time giving this game attention in the Booster Course Pass, then fine, I'll do it myself. I never grew up with this one, but I played a lot of it in college on my roommate's hacked Wii U. I mean, completely legal copy on a legitimate real GameCube. And it's awesome! I totally get the hype behind this game. The controls have their own unique feel compared to other Mario Karts. The character-specific items are a fantastic addition. It has Paratroopa, who is the most necessary character added to any Mario Kart ever. And, of course, the courses are bangers. Sure, there's only 16 because we don't have any retro tracks. In fact, this is the last game in the series to not include them. But on the plus side, that means we don't have any bad retros to weigh down the overall quality of this game's track selection. I hope we don't run into any Mario Kart games in the future where that's a problem. Anyway, let's start ranking some Double Dash tracks. There fortunately aren't really any D tiers in this game, meaning there's no tracks that I think are outright bad. But we do have a couple of C tiers, which are pretty meh. So let's knock those out right now.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Oh my god, Dry Desert is so boring. Like, it's functional, it works. It's got a few cute attributes like this giant tornado and the big piranha plant in the Sarlacc pit over here. But by god, is there nothing else to enjoy about this one. Just looking at footage of it puts me to sleep. It only exists to be the token desert track, without offering anything unique that allows it to stick out from what is traditionally the most boring biome in Mario Kart. There's no train, no pyramid, no bazaar, no giant dry Bowser mouth that you go into. Okay, Bone Dry Dunes also sucks, but that's another story. Yeah, I got nothing. Don't be the one friend at the party who picks this course. Everybody will resent you for the rest of your life if you do so. That's probably not true, but oh well, the course is still lame. Let's move on.
An ice world. Oh boy, here we go.
Sherbet Land. Yep, that's right. The base version of Mario Kart 8 went ahead and picked the two worst courses in Double Dash as its choices to bring back. I know most of them returned already, so it was slim pickings, but come on, there were absolutely better choices than these pieces of trash. Sherbet Land is at least a lot more aesthetically appealing than Dry Desert, with this incredibly endearing wintertime aesthetic and lovely music. But man, this shit is slippery. Double Dash is already a relatively slippery game, but when you combine that with ice physics, it just kind of becomes unfun to drive on. Couple that with the huge freezies that are so easy to unintentionally hit, turning you into a solid block of ice for a few seconds. Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan of this one. It's better than the N64 Sherbet Land, but not by much.
The defense calls Wario.
With the obvious exception of Baby Park, I feel like the most divisive track in this entire game is Wario Coliseum. I've seen rankings where it's at the top and ones where it's near the bottom. I've seen people who love it and are begging Nintendo to bring it back, as well as people who couldn't care less about its exclusion from every Mario Kart since Double Dash. And this is easily the course I had the hardest time placing. I wanted to make sure I considered every angle, taking the wildly varying perspectives on this course into account. But I've gotta say, as much as I tried, I'm sorry, I don't really like this course. I initially found its steep difficulty curve compared to the other tracks to be annoying. But even after I got good and started winning races without falling off the edge, I still just found it kinda boring. The atmosphere here isn't great. I like all the Wario advertisements, but the track you're driving on feels like a lesser version of Waluigi Pinball. It's got the same cage-like aesthetic, but there it fit the theme. Here, the Coliseum aspect doesn't factor into the track at all. It's just in the background. The turns aren't really that satisfying to pull off. The only real novel part was the big ramp towards the end. Other than that, it's just kind of unmemorable. My friends felt the same way when we played through this course multiple times, just to make sure we weren't missing something. It's not a bad course, I just don't think it's a particularly engaging one. I wouldn't mind if it came back, because I think an updated version could potentially be a real banger. But this original iteration just isn't my thing.
been a lifelong dream of mine to become Mario.
In my Mario Kart Wii ranking, I went over how I surprisingly kinda liked the GameCube Mario Circuit, and its simple yet satisfying charm. But I don't know if I can really say the same about its original iteration now that I'm playing it again. It's still largely the same course, but a lot of the satisfaction I get from it comes from the tricks I can pull off on the bumps and bridge at the end in Wii. Here, in a game with no trick system, these bumps are here because why exactly? They basically add nothing. Other than that, it's still an above average Mario Circuit, but it kinda pales in comparison to other superior circuits present in this game. A lot of people adore Dino Dino Jungle and consider it to be an amazing top tier course, but I just kinda think it's alright. I was relatively underwhelmed by it when I first played it in 7, and I'm even less whelmed by its original iteration here. It's not a bad course, but it is pretty basic, especially for the Special Cup. I mean, for a dinosaur themed course to only revolve around a whopping one dinosaur? I don't know, that's a bit lame. Yeah, I know there's pterodactyls flying around, but they don't affect the gameplay at all. All you got is this one big blue dude who's really easy to dodge. On the flip side, the bridges are annoyingly tricky with how narrow they are and how easy it is to fall off. I suppose I just need to get good, but I don't know, much like Wario Coliseum, I don't think getting good will make much of a difference considering how everything else in this course, from the rest of the track layout to the atmosphere, is just kind of okay. It's neat to have this vague prehistoric jungle theme going on, but I don't really think it can elevate this track from just being kinda average. It's yet another dinosaur-related thing I can't fully get behind, I'm afraid. I swear, I don't hate dinosaurs though, it's just a coincidence. Dinosaurs themselves are cool, leave me alone.
You just got Luigi!
Luigi Circuit. Oh, brother. It's the first course in the whole game, so it's probably gonna be really lame and boring and— oh my god! Are we going the opposite direction as some of the other racers? Like, in hindsight, it's not all that mind-blowing, but this is the first course to ever implement racers going in opposite directions from each other, and the fact that this is the first course in the game really helps. This is up there as one of the best starter courses in any Mario Kart game, because it sticks out thanks to this gimmick. I mean, you can even get hit by items coming from the opposite direction. That's wild. And have you seen some of the items in this game? Cause yeah, some of them are whoppers. And is that Luigi's A-rank mansion in the background? God, the GameCube era was so cool and so cohesive. Obviously, this isn't a top tier course overall, but by the standards of beginner courses in Mario Kart games, it definitely is. Can't believe Paris Promenade stole this gimmick. SMH, just another reason why France is cringe. No offense to the less than 1% of my viewers from France.
Wouldn't you rather, I don't know, have a beach day?
Ah, Peach Beach. Back in an era where cataquacks were thriving. Before the dark times. Before Nintendo wiped out and destroyed cataquacks from all of their games. It's a lovely and calming beach that gives off plenty of welcome sunshine vibes. And I love so many of its little details, like how you can see Daisy Cruiser in the background, or how the award ceremony and the ending cutscene takes place on this track, or the thing that everyone mentions, the completely pointless pipe shortcut that actually takes longer to go through. But ooh, it gives you a double item. That's cool, right? Ah well, still an incredibly solid track that helps establish this game's Mushroom Cup as one of the best Mushroom Cups in the entire series. As long as you just ignore the fact that Dry Desert is there, just avert your eyes.
I wonder if a fall from this height would be enough to kill me.
Oh, Rainbow Road. For a while, I really hated this course, as most noobs do. I thought so many of its turns were too sharp and the course was too cheap and unfair in a lot of areas. Then I finally started getting good and I realized, hey, this Rainbow Road ain't too bad actually. I wouldn't call it a top tier Rainbow Road. It doesn't quite hit the same levels of majesty or iconicness as 64, Wii, or 7's, but it's nonetheless up there as a really good one. I still think there are parts of it that are a little unfair to newcomers. Like at some points I feel like the camera's too zoomed in and it's hard to tell how sharp the turns you need to make are. But for the most part, it's a tough but satisfying final challenge. The music and aesthetic are both gorgeous. The mushroom trampoline tunnel is really cool, and for some reason always reminded me of McDonald's play places. I don't know why, I think my brain's just being weird. And you can see Mushroom City below you. That's epic. Oh, and stars can rain down on the track and you can actually use them. This game is so cool! Yeah, it's a more than worthy entry to the Rainbow Road canon. Not an all-time favorite for me, but still really special. Alright, we're halfway through the list, so now it's time to take a break and check out Battle Modes courses. Double Dash has a pretty fun battle mode to its name, and a pretty solid roster of 6 courses to pick from. Honestly, I went back and forth with my 3rd, 4th, and 5th picks, because they're all almost equally strong. And my 1st and 2nd picks, while easy to name, aren't too far off from the rest of the courses quality-wise. The only real dud in this mode, in my opinion, is Tilt-A-Kart. Wow, it tilts, how amazing. Yeah, barren layout and pretty annoying gimmick kinda dragged this one down for me. It's not awful, but it's absolutely never my first pick. Props for calling back to the Mario Sunshine bonus levels with its aesthetic though. Again, these next 3 are basically tied, and I could see myself flip-flopping between them tomorrow. With that said, next is GameCube. It's also barren and rather small, but that makes for a fun, hectic, enclosed cage match, where there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Plus, the idea of battling on top of the actual console itself that's floating through space for some bizarre reason is a really fun one. I dig this course. Number 4, Cookie Land. I didn't like it on Wii since it was too small and cramped. But since that's how most of the battle courses are in Double Dash, it fits in here a lot better and it's a lot more enjoyable. Nice Yoshi's Cookie-esque aesthetic with delicious looking barriers and a lot of tight corridors that make for fun chaos. Number 3, Block City. Block Fort's younger, more aggressive cousin with a plethora of routes and dead ends, perfect for item pelting. Looks a bit standard from the outset, but it's a surprise banger. Number 2, Luigi's Mansion. While small battle courses are fun, it's nice to have one with some breathing room for a change. Tons of layers and places to hide. With a great aesthetic that sneaks in a ton of references to the portrait ghosts from Luigi's Mansion. Something that the Mario Kart 8 version took out. SMH my head. Oh well, the original's got a great aesthetic, great layout, and overall it's a true banger. But not as much as number 1, Pipe Plaza. Oh god, what a cool gimmick, being able to pop in and out of pipes to shake other players off your tail. That, combined with utilizing the 2 layers of this course that are incredibly easy to switch between, make this the easy standout battle course of the game. Overall, a super fun, hectic as hell mode with 5 rad courses and Tilt-A-Kart to pick from. Anyway, time for a word from our sponsor, Squarespace, the best place to make a website on why Paratroopa is the greatest character in Mario Kart history. Maybe if enough of you use Squarespace to make a Paratroopa website, Nintendo will finally bring him back and world peace will be achieved yet again. Squarespace is a fantastic, intuitive, online website builder that allows you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. Display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private works with clients. You can even present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. Add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts. Every design automatically includes a unique mobile presence that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device, every time. And if you don't want that, you can always disable the mobile view from Website Manager. Buying a domain from Squarespace is so simple because there are no hidden fees or price hikes. Each domain comes with an ad-free parking page and free WHOIS privacy on eligible domains. Squarespace sells over 200 top-level domains, so you can find the perfect name for your website. Choose a URL that ends in .com, .net, .org, or you can always get a more specific one like .art if you want to be fancy. If you're ready to share your passions or promote your business with the rest of the world, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ShayFrillis to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Word up, Yoshi Munchakoopas is my name, and I'ma tell you how I beat the IRS at their own game.
Yoshi Circuit is one of God's greatest gifts to mankind. After years of mainly getting used to its Mario Kart 8 version, I kinda just take a look at this course and think, yeah, okay, it's a Yoshi outline, so what? But after reacquainting myself with the OG Yoshi, I get it now. There's just this undeniable charm to the original iteration of this course that was never really replicated in either of its remakes. Yeah, they took out the tunnel shortcut. That's a shame because it is really cool. But there's also the overall aesthetic, the colors, the on-point theming. I mean, there's a damn Yoshi copter in this course floating around in the background. Helicopters are already like the coolest thing ever, but then you get a Yoshi version of a helicopter and it's like, come on! They really just threw in a Yoshi's Island reference like it was nothing. Good for them. I don't know, between all the shortcuts, Yoshi signs, fun turns, and the vibrant circuit theme that fits this course even better than it did for the Luigi and Mario circuits, I think you got a real surprise standout here. Easily one of the best circuit courses in the whole series, and one where its fan favorite status is totally justified in my eyes.
He's found the bridge. The bridge?
Are you kidding me?
Speaking of surprise standouts, I'm honestly shocked how much I love Mushroom Bridge. It's definitely one of my favorite traffic weaving courses in the series, with enjoyable turns, an adorable Wiggler bus, bomb cars that were made in a factory. A bomb factory. They're bombs. I also think the music here might be my favorite song in the whole game, even though I associate it more with another course, which we'll get to later. Nothing else on this course quite compares to the bridge shortcuts though, which are definitely some of the trickiest to pull off in the entire game. Case in point, I still haven't done it. At least not all the way though. I've gotten on the bridge, but fallen off before hitting every speed boost. Ripperoni. However, you really got to admire how enduring and iconic this shortcut is. Every time I race through here, I'm always tempted to try and pull it off, but I either don't risk it or utterly fail in increasingly embarrassing fashion. Anyway, yeah, lovely course. Shout out to Mario Kart DS for missing the point of it entirely and taking the shortcut out.
Bowser Day 2023. That's right, Mario Day is canceled, you're welcome.
The GameCube Bowser's Castle has got to be one of the most well-rounded ones in the series. It doesn't do anything major to stand out from its contemporaries, but it's nonetheless the perfect template for what a Bowser's Castle track should be. Sharp turns, fire bars, delightfully ominous music, plus the first ever giant mechanical Bowser statue. Its implementation here is pretty quaint compared to Wii and 8, but still, you gotta show some respect for the originator of this common castle trope. Overall, despite its relative simplicity, I'd probably have to call this one of my favorite Bowser's Castles in the whole series. It's just very satisfying to drive on, and I wish Nintendo would start bringing these creepy castles back already. Like, what are they waiting for?
SpongeBob, how long you gonna stay in your little fantasy world?
I absolutely love it when Mario Kart just goes wild with a course theme. Shopping mall, airport, giant pinball machine. No one in their right mind would ever drive on one of these, but that's why they're so creative and cool. Double Dash, of course, has a nutty race course idea of its own in the form of Daisy Cruiser. An incredibly creative and fun track where you dodge shifting tables, life preservers, the pool, since this ain't 7, cars can't swim yet, idiot. All as you take in the beautiful tropical atmosphere. You can even fall down to the brig and get a double item box. How nifty. Overall, a lovely and incredibly memorable course that easily sticks out as one of the best in the whole game. For being Daisy's first ever course, she really knocked it out of the park. I just hope the other racers don't get seasick or carsick easily, cause that sounds like hell. Mushroom City, baby. This one is just so easy to love. The vibes are immaculate, with the branching paths perfectly reinforcing the idea that you're in a real city. You missed this first right turn? That's okay, just go straight and then turn right on the next street. Like a real city! Oh, no way, that's why it's called Mushroom City! I get it now! There's a neat shortcut, more cars and Wiggler buses to dodge. It's all great stuff. I think my favorite part of this course is how alive it feels, especially with how open the middle section is with its multiple routes. It's less like a race course and more like a real authentic place you just happen to be driving through. And it's such a pity that much like Moonview Highway, we probably won't get this in the booster course pass since we already have an abundance of city courses in there. But man, am I dying for this course to make its triumphant comeback. It's such a joyous and cool nighttime drive, and it easily sticks out as one of my favorites to play in the whole game.
I've been in a few real wars, but this one is actually the most terrifying.
I can't believe it. 13 courses that took months to design, build, and playtest, lost to an oval. Baby Park is Satan's greatest gift to mankind. A track that embodies sheer chaos more than any other Mario Kart course before or after. This course can and will break you, testing the limits of your sanity as you find yourself pummeled with the game's large selection of comically oversized items. Bowser shells, fireballs, chain chomps, giant banana peels, you name it. All of these and more as you try and navigate this tiny little oval without getting obliterated and sent all the way back to last place. All as the most maddening music track Mario Kart has ever concocted rings in your ears. Everything you new school gamers have heard about the original iteration of this infamous course are true. It absolutely stands as the most chaotic, undeniably evil creation in Mario Kart history. The fact that they had the gall to just drop this into the roster as if it was just any old course truly astounds me. It's an experience like nothing else in the game, or the series for that matter. And I fucking love it for that. No other course brings me such a delectable combination of sheer rage and euphoric joy. Whether I win or get pummeled by items and find myself coming in last, I just can't help but laugh in an eerily similar manner to Walter White in his crawl space. I can't thank the developers enough for giving us this unconventional, unbelievable, unexpected banger of a course. It changed my life, and if you play this game, it will change yours too. Whether that be for the better or for the worse remains to be seen.
It's me, Uncle Waluigi!
Even without the half-pipe glow-up it received in Wii, Waluigi Stadium remains one of the most exhilaratingly fun courses there is. It nails the killer extreme sports atmosphere that Wario Coliseum was kinda lacking, with creative obstacles, tons of jumps, and an absolutely electric feeling of satisfaction as you nail each turn and leave your rivals in the dust. Plus, even though this has no effect on my ranking, I think it's pretty cool how this was the only course in the game to have an ultra shortcut for over a decade. It kind of unintentionally fits in with Waluigi's wacky, cheater nature. Overall, it's wild how the iteration of this course that's clearly inferior to its Wii counterpart, as well as being inferior to the amazing 8 Deluxe version that totally didn't come out as I was editing this, still manages to be one of the absolute best courses in Double Dash. But there's one more that's even better. Whoa, what a shock. It's my favorite retro course from Wii. Who could have guessed that it would top this list too? DK Mountain isn't the flashiest course out there, and it doesn't really look too special at a first glance, but it is one of those courses that when you're playing it, you just get it, you know? Tight turns, boulders to dodge, an overwhelming sense of adventure and joy, good shortcut opportunities if you're bold enough, and that godforsaken, evil as all hell bridge. Just pray there's no Bowser shells or big banana peels on that thing. When you take it all in, it becomes incredibly clear that this course is way more than the sum of its parts. It's a thrill ride from start to finish, consisting of so many elements that make Mario Kart courses great. And it also helps that unlike Waluigi Stadium, it doesn't exist in the shadow of a future remake. The original is pretty on par with the Wii iteration. A couple extra ramps and half pipes don't really make that much of a difference here. And the tour version just looks kinda whatever, who cares? The original DK Mountain absolutely stands tall as the true peak of Mario Kart Double Dash's courses. Anyway, that's about it. Next time I might rank Super Mario Kart just to get it out of the way. Or maybe I'll do 64 if I feel like having fun instead. We'll see. Good night, Tri-State area.